I've been building my home gym for about 3 years now. And over the years, as I've experimented with a lot of different setups, a lot of different equipment, I finally started to hone in on what my home gym philosophy is, or my ethos, so to speak. And if I were to summarize it with one word, I would describe it as laziness. That's right, laziness. Now, we may have different reasons for why we started a home gym, but I think we can all agree that one benefit of having a home gym is that you don't have to spend a lot of time getting to a commercial gym, waiting for busy equipment, and so on. Basically, I'm trying to reproduce that commercial gym experience without having to actually go to the commercial gym, deal with a commute, sharing germs with 1,000 people, and so on. So this video is going to be broken down into about 3 parts. Part of that is going to be a quick tour of the equipment I have. Part of that is going to be about hacks that I've done to the equipment to make it as optimal as possible. And the last part is going to be a few sample program days for how I actually make all of it flow to make my workouts as efficient as possible. All right, so let's jump into it. We're going to start in this corner right here. Nothing too exciting. Just a treadmill that I reassembled, which I've had for a while. Now, typically, I'll just walk uphill to get a bit warmed up for 5 minutes, maybe watch some YouTube while I'm walking. And now that it's winter, sometimes I do also spend some time doing zone 2 cardio burning on this thing. So it's a good piece to have, nothing too exciting. All right, as we finish up with the treadmill, let's move on to our next piece over here, which is my triple horn bicep curl machine that I've done some videos on in the past. Again, pretty convenient. We just hop on here. It's already loaded with my approximate working weight, and we can do our biceps. Now, thanks to the resistance curve on this hits my biceps even better than something like dumbbells or easy curl bar, and I don't have to futz around with selectorizing the weight on my dumbbells or loading up my easy curl bar. Just hop on and go. Now moving on over to the right, here we have my prized home gym possession, my Franken-6-in-1-Hip-Thrust-Jones Machine. This is perhaps my greatest home gym invention, which can be used for anything from hip thrusts, Smith squats, raised heel Smith squats, seated or standing calf raises, Bulgarian split squats, reverse lunges, and many more exercises that I probably haven't even thought of. Let's just hop on here for a quick demo hip thrust where I can lift this tilt pad up, sit back here, just slide this into place, and we're ready to go. Boom. Slide that out of the way, and we can even have a seat here and take a little bit of a recovery break after our set is done, just for some extra lazy bonus points. And let's not forget about this Amazon Echo over here, the main use for which is just skipping ads, because obviously I can't be bothered to go and actually grab the remote control when an ad is playing. Alexa, skip it. Because clearly, grabbing a remote control while exercising is way more effort than it's worth. And continuing this way, we have my squat rack. Although I don't actually use it much to do squats these days. Primarily, this serves as my bench press station, and I also have an integrated belt squat, as well as this dip bar right here, which I'm currently leaving here permanently during my program because I really hate taking this thing off and putting it back on, and it doesn't get in my way that much. Again, it's all about reducing the amount of time that I have to spend setting stuff up, so as much stuff as I can leave in place that isn't going to interfere with something else, I'm just going to leave it there. So the J-cups and the safeties are already going to be pre-configured to the appropriate flat bench size, and honestly, I just leave this barbell here as well so that I can just hop in and go. If it's leg day and I want to use my belt squat, I'm just gonna grab this bench and get it out of the way. I'm gonna grab this barbell, and I've set up an extra set of J-cups here just to be able to stow this away quickly and easily without having to go and put it on the wall. Boom, so our barbell is out of the way. Now we remove the safety pin that I've set up here with this center mount configuration. Undo the safety clip. Boom, we are ready to do our belt squats. Just gotta load some plates. Now, if I want to use some handles during belt squats, I can move these safeties up and put some of these pegs through them to use as handles, but that does require moving these J-cups and the safeties up, and we all know how I feel about that. Now let's stow it away so we can take this belt off. Just flip this up, put this up, clip in that, put my safety pin back in, and put this belt up there because I don't need it when I'm done using it. And that's it, the belt squat is packed away, and now we can go back to bench press mode. Up next, we have this GMWD or side pendulum squat. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a single exercise machine, but it's a good exercise. And again, no setup time required. So usually if I'm just starting out, hop in, do a couple of machine weight reps while we're warming out, still getting a stretch. Once we're warmed up, grab a plate or two, whatever our working weight for that day is, throw it on, get in the machine, and go. Pretty easy peasy. I like this machine. It gets a lot of lazyometer points for sure. Moving on, next up we have our Titan T-bar row. Again, pretty simple machine. You just hop on and go when it's back day. Guess, come on, no one's got time to set up a landmine and all that nonsense. You just grab it, do your thing, and go. Pretty high up there on the lazyometer. Okay, the next piece here is a bit of an outlier, and you may say, hey, that doesn't look like that belongs here, and you would be right. The reason this is here is because it's here temporarily, and Mikolo sent this to me to do a comprehensive review. So this is in the review corner of the gym, and that video will be coming out in the near future. However, I will say that I do actually like this piece more than I initially thought I would when they offered to send it to me. And while it is only here temporarily, I will say that it does boost my lazyometer score just a little bit because it is an extra rack and it is an extra Smith machine. So taking that laziness to the extreme, I can now have my flat bench set up over there while having this set up for incline work, which means that I don't actually have to set an extra set of safeties or J-cups between doing incline or flat bench pressing. So yeah, I'm gonna give myself a couple more lazy points for that one. Alrighty, next up we have this Selectorized leg extension leg curl machine. Of course it's gotta be Selectorized because no one has time to deal with plates. That's like so 2020. Do our leg extensions, and if you wanna switch to doing leg curls, we just move our lever arm here, set the pin to the weight we want, lock in, and get ready to go. If you really want to be lazy with those movements, Selectorized is the way to go. While this may not be my favorite machine, it does get the job done. Alrighty, moving on over here, we got my GetRx'd wall-mounted RX3 tower with the flat pull-down extender. Right now, primarily I use it for low rows lat pull downs, and the occasional accessory work. So let me show you how this setup works. Now, I have a second bench here, so this just stays in this part of the gym, usually paired with this tower. So if we want to do low rows, I've also made these fancy magnetically mounted range of motion extenders, which I can clamp onto here, grab our favorite rowing attachment, clip that in, and we're ready to go. Now, obviously, this still does require some setup, but you know, a Reppin or Rogue CTM1 wasn't really in the budget, so sometimes we do have to make compromises. Alrighty, now if we want to switch it to doing lat pull downs, we can just pop these off. I'm going to unclip this guy. And we're going to clip in this guy. And yes, this is annoying me to the core. All right, we're ready to go. Now, the other way I use this tower is actually for Nordic curls. So let me show you what that setup looks like. First, I'm going to take this bench and I'm actually going to position it somewhere like this, because this is just going to be my landing zone. Then we're going to go over here and grab this plyo box and set that right here. Move this up, and now ready to do my Nordic curls. Now, the lock-in that this gives me actually feels stronger than on my Freak Athlete Hyper Pro. And speaking of the Freak Athlete Hyper Pro, we'll get to that one in a bit. Now, when we're done doing our set of Nordics, we just sit back a little bit, undo this pop pin, pull this up, and get right out. Pretty easy. Okay, next up is my favorite specialty bar of all time. This is the Giant Lifting Northland Open Trap Bar. So let's check this thing out. Now, I have the shorter weight sleeve version, which makes it easier to store, and I don't really need 16-inch sleeves because I don't need to load a million plates in this thing because I'm not the Hulk. So while it may be just an open trap bar and it doesn't qualify for a lot of laziness points, but it does have a lot of really great quality of life features that I really appreciate, like the built-in jack, the really premium glossy finish, the really aggressive knurl and nice center knurl marks, and a few other special features. For example, if I go over here and grab this 45 and load it on one side, you may notice that it doesn't want to tip to the left. So that's a pretty nice feature that my last open trap bar didn't have. Now let's grab another one, put it over here, grab some collars, and let's take a look at quality of life feature number 2. When we get ready to lift, the bar actually stays balanced. And if we want to now go do our lift, Now, if we want to switch from the low handle to the high handle, super easy with the jack. Boom, boom. And the bar stays balanced. Okay, I know this is starting to sound just like an ad for this bar, but I just can't stop gushing about it because it does make me smile every time I take it out to use it. And may not get a lot of laziness points, but I think I'll just give it a couple of quality of life points for all of the premium features that this bar has. Alrighty, let's move on over to our next piece here, and it's this space heater, because you gotta have a comfy gym space, and it does get chilly here in the winter. But the actual next piece is this GMWD multi-flight that I've modded by adding a selectorized stack, which is really a must for this machine because it makes it take a lot less space, and come on, no one wants to load plates. This thing is now pretty awesome. When it's time to do your lateral raises, you just come up to it, grab the handles, set the pin to where you want, and you're ready to get to work. Now, this machine is also good for bent over chest flies, so when it's time to do flies, you just pop it into lower position, set it to a higher weight, and set these handles into fly mode. And now we're ready to do some flies. That feels good. And we can also use it for reverse flies as well. Just switch these handles back into raising mode. 4. Set the pin to an appropriate weight. And now we can do our reverse bent over flies. And the last piece here are these Reppin Selectorized dumbbells, which do get some use. Now for the piece that we didn't talk about, which is the Freak Athlete Hyper Pro, which is now chilling here in my spare parts room, and I'm just about ready to list it on Facebook Marketplace in a couple of weeks. Decided that this machine just doesn't really fit my home gym philosophy. I really hate dragging it around. I hate reconfiguring it between GHD and Nordic mode. And while I will miss the GHD a bit, I actually find it easier to set up Nordics with my cable tower and that leg holder there. So this machine just isn't for me. Now that we've seen all of the equipment in here, let's put it all together and see how do we actually make programs that utilize it all without wasting too much time. I just switched my program again back to doing a more traditional push-pull leg split, and I have 2 variants for each type of day, variant A and variant B. Now, I'm not gonna go over each day and each variant, but I'll probably just go over 2 samples. So we're going to start with what I call leg day B, which is a posterior chain focused leg day. So first, I would start by doing some incline uphill walking to warm up on the treadmill, and then do a couple of stretches. When we're done with that, I'll head over here and I'll start with the pendulum. Now first, I'll start with just machine weight. So I would hop on here and do some pendulum squats as I'm still warming up. When I'm done doing my warm-up set, then I would go and throw in a plate or 2. And then continue doing my lifts until I've done all of my sets. Once I'm done with my pendulum squat sets, the next exercise is hip thrusts. So I'm gonna walk over here to my Franken machine and jump into it and start doing hip thrusts. Now, hip thrusts are one of the main movements that I initially designed this machine for, and I made it as easy as possible to get set up for that exercise because traditionally it's kind of a pain in the butt to set up in most home gyms. I slide the Jones mechanism forward to get it out of the way, come back here, get comfy on this backrest pad, throw my feet up onto the tilt pad, and we're ready to do business. And in between sets, I can take a rest here while I let my legs recover a bit before the next set. All right, for the next exercise, we're gonna head to that side of the gym towards the GetRx'd tower. For the next set of exercises, it's gonna be a superset, which is gonna be Nordic curls, followed by leg extensions. And I haven't trained Nordic curls in a while, so right now I need a little bit of assistance. So to regress a little bit, I'm gonna use this band, which I can just throw up there and use that to help me out so I can burn my legs out properly. Then I just sit here, put on my band, and get locked in. Whew, I just did this day a couple of days ago, so I still have a little bit of residual soreness. Okay, 2 is enough for now. Now, when we're done with that set, we hop out of here, jump into the leg extension machine, and do our leg extension set as part of the superset. And when we're done, we can just take a break here and recover a bit before doing that all over again for our next set. And yes, that is by design so that I can just stay seated here and let my legs recover a bit between sets. We're gonna do some calf work, so I'm gonna head over back to my Franken machine and I'm gonna grab this plyo box with me. Now I've got my plyo box here, so I'm gonna set this up for seated calves. And this frame component acts as a perfect marker for I know exactly where I need to put this plyo box. I'm going to drop this tilt pad back into being a flat position, which now turns it into a calf block. All right, now we come over here and I'm going to lock the machine into place. Because I don't really want it moving around during calf raises. And that's gonna wrap up our leg day B. Okay, one more sample day. For this one, we're gonna do my push day A. So first, we're gonna head over here and we're gonna grab this Mikolo Bastet bench and roll it this way, somewhere around here. And I'm actually going to switch this into utility bench mode. So I'm gonna sit this back all the way up, pull this pin down, and that's just gonna be there to be in place for our next exercise so I don't have to reconfigure stuff during the workout. And the first exercise, of course, is going to be the bench press, which is already all set up. So I would warm up with an empty bar first, do warm up, load my plates, do my benching, and so on. When I'm done, I just leave it there and head on over here, grab some dumbbells, and do my overhead press next. I would just leave the dumbbells here unless I need to go and step up and wait, in which case I would put that back in the cradle and select the new weight. And for the next exercise, it's actually going to be a superset. So we're going to go over here to the dip bar and we're going to do some dips. And then we are going to superset that with some lateral raises on the multi-flight machine. When I'm done with that, just head over here and get ready to do my lateral raises. And when I've done my superset, if I want to take a little break between sets, I can just sit down here, catch my breath a bit, watch some YouTube for a minute or two, and then do my next set. All right, once that superset is done, next up is one more superset. So we're going to go back to the multi-flight machine, and now I'm going to reconfigure it for chest flies. So I'm going to lower that down, set the weight here, put this into fly mode. So it's a pretty quick reconfiguration. Position and do my flies. Once I'm done with that set, I'm going to superset it with some tricep extension work on the cable tower. Okay, so I'm going to be here at the tower. I'm going to slide this trolley up, grab the attachment that I want. I think I'll use this ropey handle thingy. And I would have probably set this up ahead of time. Set this to the weight I want to work. And because I don't want to deal with this cable thing here, and the cable tower allows me to do so, I'm just going to do my movements off a bit to the side so that I don't have to get that cable for the lat pull downs out of the way. And that's what push day A looks like. Okay, this video is starting to get a bit long, but hopefully you get the idea for my gym philosophy, and maybe that aligns with your philosophy, or maybe it doesn't. So let me know in the comments how you like to program your workouts. Now, if only I could get someone to come in here and lift these weights for me so that I wouldn't have to do anything at all.